So guys, thanks to Rev It Up UK, I've been given the keys today to this, an RS4 B7. The four-door that I've had a lot of expectations for. I've always wanted to drive one of these. Back in the day, I'd love to have had one. In fact, I sort of like the look of this blue one right now behind me. But we're going to take it for a good drive. We're going to go and enjoy the naturally aspirated V8 engine in this. Manual, bucket seats. It's going to be a good day, let's just say that. Right guys, jumping in the RS4. I am incredibly excited for this. You literally have no idea. This was like one of those cars when I was growing up that I always wanted to drive. So, today is the day. I am super excited. V8 naturally aspirated engine in what is the monster saloon of the 2000s. And some wet weather. So this is probably the perfect car for rainy England. Let's get on it, let's find some sick roads. I really, really want to know what this is about, this car. So what are we working with? This is the B7 RS4 Saloon. A god among men, this car. This is an absolute monster of a car. V8. 425 brake horsepower from the factory, naturally aspirated. Same basic engine really that was in the Audi R8. This one, in its rather fetching Sprint Blue, is the colour to have. This is the colour I'd have one of these in. I think it's the best colour that shows off the curves, especially because these have huge arches on them. Now, one thing about these RS4s is you've got to love the feel. Although it might not seem the fastest thing in the world compared to the other hot hatches that you can get for this price and all that malarkey, the reality is this is a naturally aspirated saloon. You know, the power is there, it's instant. You know, you drop it second gear and the power is at your disposal straight away at like 2000 RPM. Because the displacement of the engine's so big, it motors along so quickly. And you've got to remember that while driving it. This is an old school setup in a saloon, so it's not going to be as fast as the newer hot hatches. And don't get me wrong, 425 brake horsepower sounds like a lot, but I want to stress that straight away that your Golf R's and your S3s and stuff are going to be faster these days. You know, technology's moved on quite a lot since this setup. This doesn't feel like a numb new car. The control is there, the clutch is supple, but you really feel when it goes in that you've selected a gear properly. It's such a rewarding feeling throwing that gear stick into any gear. It's the best setup. That's exactly what this is. Naturally aspirated engine with the manual gearbox that, you know, harps back to the old school ways of, you know, performance cars. That's how they used to be. And if you want that sort of style, I think when you are pottering around, it feels like a normal car. It doesn't feel like an RS model, which I think was the idea. It doesn't feel racy, it doesn't feel uncomfortable, even with these sublime bucket seats, which every RS model should have. They should have these bucket seats. That's what makes it an RS model. That's just how I see it. These seats are the absolute nuts. And when you do press S, which is sport, on the steering wheel right in front of me, everything tightens. Even the seat tightens into your body, because you know full well it's about to go down. So it means when you do get on your desired road, everything's tight and ready for you. And pushing the S button on the steering wheel is sort of like the RS going like this to you, like, come with me and have some fun. Let's talk about power. 425 brake horsepower is a good amount of power in any car. You got to remember that this is, you know, a weighty car, but it doesn't feel that way. It turns in fantastically. That V8 rumble behind you as well. Oh, it's just so old school feeling, but it feels new. And I can't quite explain why or how that sounds, but if you've driven an RS model of this era, you know exactly what I mean, because even coming out of a corner, it just feels very tight. You can tell that the engine isn't that far, you know, ahead of the front axle. And your naturally aspirated power comes in very, very quickly. Where it's low down in the rev at 2,000 RPM, you're not waiting for turbos, you're not waiting for, you know, a hoorah of, you know, dump valves and stuff happening, because the naturally aspirated power is at your disposal within a second of you putting your foot anywhere near that throttle pedal. This gives the best driving experience, in my opinion, you will get in an RS model. I love the DSG boxes of the new era RSs and the S's, don't get me wrong, but nothing can beat that and that. Right guys, I was having so much fun, I forgot to pull over somewhere nice. So I'm in a random industrial estate to show you round the RS4 B7, because I've got to take some time and appreciate this thing outside the car, because I absolutely love driving it. Literally, it's the only shoot I've ever been on where I forgot to do the outside stuff because I was having so much fun inside. Really love this thing. Anyway, coming around, we have the blue paintwork. With this bodywork, you guys know the RS4s have these bulged arches. Again, through the camera lens and on pictures and videos, you cannot get the gist of how wide this is until you see it in person. You come up front with the honeycomb grills with the RS badging just down there. Xenon headlights on this one as well. I just still think these look so good. Even in 2018, they look so bulbous, so big, and sort of old school but new school at the same time, coming down to the silver accents that you get on these RS models. And as the window's down, I've got to show you guys this interior. RS4 buckets, very, very comfortable actually. For me as well, I have a bad back, and these are incredibly comfortable, heated and bolster support and everything. And coming around, flat bottom steering wheel there with all of the carbon fiber accents, and obviously the manual gearbox, which is absolutely phenomenal on this car. You have the Audi multimedia system in the center as well, cup holders, rear blind and everything. This has a sunroof on this one as well. And coming around to the side, it's got to show the little accents, the RS4 just down the side there with the bulged arches. Coming around to the back, it is incredibly dirty. It was so clean when I picked this thing up, and now I've been enjoying the living hell out of this thing, and you guys can see by the state of it at the moment, it is incredibly grubby now. Again, thank you so much to the guys at Rev It Up UK for inviting me down and letting me take this car out. It's one of those cars, and I know I've said it in the past, I've wanted to drive this. This is genuinely one of those cars that, when I had my VW Golf and all that sort of business, this was the car I really wanted, but knew full well I couldn't insure. I couldn't afford to run it, tax it, all that sort of stuff. So the inner 20-year-old in me is absolutely so happy that he got a chance to drive this thing today. Again, Rev It Up UK, thank you so much, guys. Gonna drop this thing back to Rev It Up UK. Massive thank you to the guys again. Honestly, I've loved every second with this car. I'd love to take it home with me, if I'm honest. Oh, it sounds so good. The feel, the little steering wheel with the flat bottom, it's just like, it's like a checklist. If you could checklist in your head everything you would ever want in a road going, fun, naturally aspirated manual car, this ticks every box. And although it's got the size and the space, 5 seats, it's got a big boot, it's got everything you can want in that sense, I am not thinking about that whatsoever. When I put this into a corner, I can't even feel that the size of this and the back end of the big boot and everything, because it doesn't feel that way. It feels so tight, and the steering is so direct that you forget that you're in a big saloon that has a whacking great V8 on the front of it, because it just doesn't feel that way. It feels light on its toes. It feels like it's meant to be chucked around. It doesn't feel like they've just planted a V8 engine in a big saloon. It just doesn't feel that way, and I felt that way about many others, but just like that, it just turns so good. It just tips in fabulously. The rear end, there's no give, no fight whatsoever, no traction lost as well. The system that these Audis have is exquisite. That is like the best recipe. Do you know what I mean? The recipe of a really good car, it's here. It's in this. It's the thoroughbred you want, with the manual, it's the V8 sound that I want and the V8 power that I think everybody wants. It's the space and comfort that I think you could, you know, use as a daily driver. It's lovely in here, carbon fibre. Bucket seats, absolutely gorgeous RS4 logos in them. Oh, this is a bloody good car, and it's got a rear blind. I mean, that's just top stuff. That's just banging, that is. I mean, if that don't sell it to you, what does? Sorry that the windows are down, but I cannot get enough of that V8 sound. Honestly, I'd love to see this thing with an exhaust on it. Put it back in sport. Oh, everything tightens up. You can feel the seat tighten. It's such a cool. Put the heated seat on. It's a bit of a wet day, so put the heated seat on a little bit. Rear blind up. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. As I put the windows up, I am so blown away at this car. After driving the RS4 B5, you know, many moons ago, that was a car. That was an epic car. And I'm happy to say that this one, lumpier, with no turbos, naturally aspirated V8, you know, bit heavier, it's just as good. So my short few hours with the RS4 have been very glorious. I have found some nice little roads. I've really enjoyed this thing for myself as well. I wanted to make a quick video, you know, slight review on this car, but I just wanted to enjoy it for myself because it was one of those cars I looked up to back in the day, and now they're, you know, affordable but going up in price, in my opinion. It's something I should consider at some point. I'd absolutely love to take one of these home and enjoy it and really find that running costs and everything. Yes, I think, you know, the running costs, let's just touch on that. It's a V8, it's an older V8 as well, so it will gobble petrol up a little bit. And you've got to equate the servicing, brakes, everything, because you want to keep this thing pristine. This one, 44,000 miles on it. 44,000 miles, so this is a prime example if you were in the market for one. But thank you so much for watching again. Thank you to Rev It Up UK for letting me take their glorious RS4 out. I'll see you all on the next video. Cheers, guys.